What is up, you guys? It is Travis, and today I'm going to be telling you a cautionary tale about my tattoo horror story, because I've made a lot of dumb decisions in my life, but this is by far one of the dumbest because it almost cost me my leg. Please give this video a like if you like tattoos, or if you just like me, because I really do appreciate that. This story begins when I was 17 years old. I was downtown in Denver, Colorado, and I was with my cousin, Aaron. We were downtown, we walked past this alley that on the ground there was a little piece of paper that said glow-in-the-dark tattoos. And I pick up this piece of paper and it's literally as ghetto as it comes. It's not even a professional ad. It is back when Microsoft Word still had word art. I don't know if you guys remember that. Give this video a like if you remember word art. But it was literally like some guy printed it off his computer and threw the flyers around downtown. So obviously this was a very legitimate establishment. So I call this number that's on the flyer and this guy answers. And instead of answering like a business, it's someone that goes, "Hello? Hi, my name is Travis. I was wondering if I could inquire about your glow-in-the-dark tattoos." And instead of really telling me about the glow-in-the-dark tattoos, this guy just says, "If you're coming to my place to get tattooed, then you're going to have to get tattooed." So basically, he's telling me that if I want to go over and find out more about this, I have to get a tattoo because he doesn't want me to waste his time. So obviously, this seems like a really good idea. So I'm like, yes, sign me up. My cousin's like, yes. And so we're like, yes. And she was like, go, bitch. And I was like, we're going, bitch. And so we snapped our fingers until they're about to fall off. And we drive across town to the hood of Denver, Colorado, where we're gonna get this tattoo. So I walk into this guy's apartment. I know it's his apartment because he also has more of that word art on the door that says like Tito's Tattoos or some shit that he put it off his computer. And I was like, yeah, this is the place. So we walk inside and we're greeted by this guy who has this giant scar going down his head, like over here. It's super massive. And his wife comes and she greets us with a tray of waters, which was very kind of her. It was actually their kitchenware, which was very lovely kitchenware. So anyway, we walk in, we meet the guy, we're sitting there and he's like, "So you want to get that tattoo, do you?" And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, what do you want to get? I don't know, because this is going on my body forever and I didn't really think about it very much, but like, what should I get? And then he sits there for a second, he leans back with his arms crossed and he goes, "You should get your sign." That is a really good idea. I should totally get my sign because that's like super original. No one's ever got their astrology sign tattooed on their f***ing body. Anyway, I'm an Aquarius, so I decided to get my Aquarius sign tattooed on my body. This is the product of what that tattoo was. But as you guys can tell, that it doesn't really look so much like the Aquarius sign, but more like the Batman symbol twice. So it's a tattoo. Now, I should probably mention that when I was getting this tattoo, the kind of ink that he was using to make it glow in the dark was actually from a f***ing Bic pen. He literally takes off the cap of a Bic pen, he pours it into his canister, and he starts injecting this into my body as he's giving me this tattoo. It hurts really bad. It's my first tattoo though, so I thought I was just being a little bitch. And so I was like, okay, well, this is fine, just get through it. So I was trying to make conversation with him. So I was like sitting there cringing in the f***ing couch, and I'm like, "So, how'd you start this business?" "I just got out of prison like 3 months ago." "Oh, prison, that's cool. What'd you do to get there?" Like, it was going to Harvard Law School or something, but it's prison, Travis, it's prison. What do you think he did? "I beat the shit out of my wife." And I was like, "Oh, well, why'd you beat the shit out of your wife?" "Because she dropped a machete on my head." "Oh." So this guy proceeds to tell me that he has a felony, and so he couldn't get a job, so his idea, being innovative, was to start a tattoo business, and I was one of his first clients. So anyway, I get this tattoo. It's excruciatingly painful, but we leave and we go about our merry way. So anyway, there was this girl that I was dating at the time. She had lots of tattoos all over her body. And so I was excited because I got my first tattoo. So being the super raging heterosexual that I went over to her and I was like, "Yas, bitch, look at my tattoo, girl." She saw it and she's like, "Whoa, Trav, it's not supposed to look like that." Her reaction was not what I expected because she looked at my tattoo and my tattoo was sunken in. Normally when you get a tattoo, the part where you got the tattoo should be raised. Mine was sunk in like it was branded into me. It looked like razor blades were used to just carve it into my skin. On top of that, there was a fluid leaking out of it, but I thought that was normal. So I was sitting there with like a little towel in my hand, like just dabbing it away, just like, it's no big deal, just dabbing up this brown ass shit coming out of my ankle. And my girlfriend was like, "Trav, it's not supposed to look like that." Now, obviously, that bitch was jealous of my tattoo because mine was probably 10 times better than hers. And so I ignored her and I continued to go about my merry way. Well, a few days pass and the leakage does not stop. Not only that, my ankle starts getting swollen. And so I was like, oh shit, this is some real shit. Like, this is a really good tattoo. Like, my body is fighting this fabulosity that's being tattooed onto my skin. And so I limped back to the tattoo artist because I could barely walk at that point. And I was like, hey man, this is what my ankle looks like right now. I can't really see the bones of my ankle anymore because it's so swollen. And I was just wondering like what I should do. And he just looks down at it for a second, looks back up and he goes, that's because you're walking on it. And so what he does to help me in this situation is he picks up a stump, because that's what he used to prop my leg up in the first place, and he gives me this stump. And so I was like, well, thank you so much. Like, that is so nice. Like, this is a really good stump. Like, I can't believe how long it took you to chop this down. Now you're like giving this to me. So like, that really means a lot. So thank you. So I take this stump and I hobble out of his apartment, you know, just leaving. So I keep my ankle elevated as much as I can for the next few days. At that point, the brown leakage that's coming out of my ankle is turning into a white pus, and it was really a good time, and I was really enjoying myself. And again, this girl that I was talking to, she looks at it and she's like, Trav, please come with me to the tattoo parlor. And though I knew that bitch was jealous, I was like, okay, you know, I'll go to the tattoo parlor so that they can take a look at it and see that this is totally fine. When I go to the tattoo parlor, we show it to one guy who's sitting at the counter, and then he saw my ankle and he was like, holy sh**. Guys, come look at this. Everyone comes over and looks at my ankle, and they're like, man, that looks so bad. That's so f***ed up. And I was like, I know it does. I know it does. I'm really proud of what I did. So anyway, over the next few days, the infection started getting worse and worse and worse. And at that point, there was a redness that started spreading up my right calf. But I should probably tell you guys that because I was 17, I was living with my grandparents. Part of the reason why I got this tattoo on my ankles because I didn't want my grandma to see, because I don't want my grandma to be mad. So at that point, it gets even worse because I am lying in bed and then I wake up to my grandmother slapping me because my grandmother is old school Catholic right there and she don't f around. So anyway, I wake up to my grandmother slapping me on my back, slapping me like, what did you do to your body? What is that on your ankle? And so when I got out of bed, she threw some boxes at me and she goes, pack your stuff and get out. My ankle was so swollen and full of fluid that I couldn't even put shoes on anymore, so I was wearing flip-flops. But anyway, I pack up these couple of boxes, I walk out the front door, and I'm walking through the rain, trying to figure out where I'm gonna go. Next thing I know, as I'm walking down the street, not sure where I'm gonna go, my grandmother pulls up next to me, and from the window she yells, get in the car. And she takes me straight to the hospital where the doctors are also as surprised about my tattoo as everyone else was at that point. The doctors were pretty much just like, okay, well, you have this redness spreading up your major artery. This is really bad. If this redness spreads any farther up your leg, we're gonna have to take it off from the knee down. That made things real for the first time. And the doctors weren't really super overly sensitive about the topic. Like, they said it kind of matter of fact, but I was like, wait a second, what? Because I didn't think that it would be possible that getting a bad tattoo would almost have to have my leg get amputated. So after that, they gave me this super powerful antibiotic. If the redness had spread any farther up, I was supposed to come back to the hospital and they were gonna take off the leg. Thank the dear Lord Jesus above, I took that medicine, and by the third day, the redness started to go back down, and everything started to calm down, so I guess it fought off the infection that got inside my ankle. Anyway, that concludes my tattoo horror story. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please give this video a like. Also, comment below and let me know about your guys' tattoo experience, and if it was a positive one or if it was as bad as mine was. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.